Hey everyone. When I was young, I used to hear my dad say, "Boy, you can best believe if I go to jail for stealing, it's going to be because I stole something worth going to jail for." Now, that's probably a horrible imitation of my dad and his voice, but the concept is the same. So I'm watching the news and I'm watching people loot businesses, and I'm thinking to myself, what is the price that you would put on going to jail? Now, before we get into it, most people have a number. If we're realistic and honest with ourselves, yours may have more zeros on it than others, but it's still a number. For those who don't know me, my name is Jeremiah Jackson. 20 years ago, my number was 155677. See, I'm on here to talk about my story. That number, that's not dollars. That number is my Arizona Department of Corrections number. I was sentenced to 3.5 years for stealing cars and cash, and that dollar amount was about $50,000. Now, once I was released from my 5x8 cell, I started my life again. And in Arizona, they give you a gate fee. Most states, I believe, they give you a gate fee upon release to add to anything you've saved. And that gate fee was $50. For most of us that go in to prison, we don't have a whole lot coming out. So you pretty much have $50. And that $50 will get you a bus pass to where you have to go. And if you're lucky enough to have family and friends to pick you up, then that $50 will go in your pocket, and maybe you'll be able to buy a pair of jeans and a shirt with it. Something to get the prison stink off of you. Nonetheless, I came out with $50, and I had hopes for a better future. Those hopes don't always go as planned. 2 years after being released, I walked into a Bank of America and I robbed it. My number at that time was about $2,000. And 2.5 years in prison later, again, my number was 155677. So there's so much in my story that's led me to those places in my life where I felt compelled to do something that was extreme, but didn't have a desired result. It didn't have a positive consequence. And before you think, this is a political announcement about what's going on, this isn't. If you know me, I don't dabble in politics like that. But this is me trying to help people who've gotten to that place in their life where they felt there was no hope, where there was no way out. And they believed that the only thing they could do was the unthinkable. Many of us have had that moment, and not everyone has taken the steps that I took to act out my desperation. But we've had that moment where we don't know what we're going to do next. And if we haven't had that moment, most of us know someone who has. I look around, I see a country with 30 million to 40 million people filing for unemployment. And I can't help but to believe that many of us are at that moment, at that point in our lives right now. Some of us weren't laid off, but we got to work at home virtually, and we got to see that there is life beyond the 9-to-5 grind. Life that involved family, life that involved friends, and life that involved, guess what? Life. Today, I just want to share with you all hope. 4 huge letters. If there is ever a time to rise up from the ashes, now is it. I'd implore you that if you are at that point in your life when you feel like giving up, when you think it's over, when you feel like you can't go on, just know that there are others who've been there and are there with you now, standing in the gap for you. See, now is the time to use their strength to muster yours, to stand to your feet, and to begin that journey of stealing something worthwhile as my dad would say. But that stealing doesn't involve going to prison. It's time to steal your life back. It's time to steal your time back. It's time to steal your joy back. It's time to steal your love back. You know, I would really implore you to walk with me on this journey. I'm going to start doing a series of videos, and day by day I'll show you, how I managed to overcome every obstacle thrown in my way. And when I was little, from an age of 8, I started running track and field, and hurdles became the thing that I was good at. It seemed to be more of a metaphor for my life, because there's been hurdles all along the way. Everything that's been thrown my way. We don't hire felons. You can't get full custody of your kid. You'll never find love. You'll never own anything. You can't fix your credit. It's impossible to own your own business or businesses. These are all things that I've heard. But there was a time where I had to put the naysayers away. I had to walk away from the people in my life that were negative and didn't believe in my passion, didn't believe in my journey, didn't believe in my success. There was a pastor, T.D. Jakes, well known, and he said something that resonated with me. He said that if you become the smartest person in your room, it's time to change your room. And I'll take it a step further. If you are the most positive person in your room, you need to change your room. So I want you to walk with me as I take you on this path to take your life back. Peace and blessings to you all. I plan on putting on more videos, so look for those. If you like this one, or if it witnessed to you in any way, please like and subscribe the video. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. Look forward to talking to you all later.